To start off the show, can you tell me what success means and looks like to Anthony Mazzella?
Success. Okay. If it's all right with you, maybe I can answer that with an example. Okay, Livia? So,
Yes.
oftentimes in my work, so I'm chatting with a patient, for instance, and they're talking about how they went on a date. But dating is something they haven't done in years. Or maybe they spoke up in a board meeting. Prior to that, they were always inhibited. They couldn't speak up. But then you hear them get discouraged quite quickly, like the date didn't work out. Or, I spoke up at a board meeting and nobody really picked up on what I was saying. And it really turns into a failure quite quickly. So for me, success has more to do with the process rather than the outcome, if that makes sense. So what I would work with in these simple examples would be that they took a risk, right? Because part of success, in my opinion, is it entails what? Taking a risk. To take a risk, you have to be willing to fail. So sometimes we fail. You have to be able to collaborate with other people. You have to be open to emotional connection. You have to be open to engaging with life, with yourself, with your emotions. I mean, I could keep going. You have to be willing to be curious. And most of all, you have to be able to learn from experience. So in other words, even if it didn't go well and you didn't get a second date, for instance, you learn from experience. But again, to learn from experience means that I have to be able to admit that there's some room for improvement here. So anyway, all of those things, plus probably more if I could think about it for another moment, but all of those things in part of what are what makes up success, not just the outcome of the date or what happened when you spoke up at the board meeting, if that makes sense.
It does. And I love how you use that example to also highlight not only that it's about the process, but also about taking that first step to say, okay, I'm not going to let this hold me back, or I'm not going to let this fear stop me from doing this, or whatever the outcome might be, stop me from doing it, or even trying again. Because a lot of times, any of us could have that bad experience, have that bad taste, and then look at a similar situation and go, I'm not going to do it. Because I know the outcome.
Yeah, and that hurt. And I'd rather avoid that if it hurt. Like, who would ever put themselves in that situation again, knowing that I could be hurt?